Good evening, everybody. This is Chief Meteorologist Jordan Ambrose, keeping you guys updated on the ongoing storms across areas of the southeast. So the main thing I'm going to do is an absolute breakdown on what could happen across the Wiregrass as we go throughout your overnight hours. So there's this cold front that's going to move through the Wiregrass. You see these storms beginning to develop, and that has continued to develop across the region. Currently, we're seeing a few tornado warnings along this line, and I'm actually going to show you guys maybe even a closer look later on. If you have any questions, this is the best time to ask it. We're also going to be live at WDHN News at 10, and also throughout your overnight hours if we see storms become severe, especially in areas of the Wiregrass. So here's a look at our severe weather risk. As you go further into Alabama and also all of southeast Alabama, we're under that level 2 slight risk of severe weather, but I'm going to tell you what actually concerns me a little bit later on. But here is the forecast, and here's what we're looking at. The hour-by-hour forecast does show a line of storms continuing to make its way through the region, most likely entering areas of Covington County in our area around 3 a.m. One of my concerns is there are some models showing at least individual cells making its way into the Gulf, making its way up from the Gulf, and into areas of southeast Alabama, and also these little kinks within the line that could indicate some rotation. This is around 3 a.m. We expect this to continue around 5 to 6 a.m., entering areas of Houston County and also areas of western portions of the Wiregrass around 4 a.m. Now, this model has it exiting our region as we get closer to around sunrise, around 7 a.m., and then clearing out for the rest of your day. So what are the threats? Now, there is a tornado risk, and unfortunately, there's what we call a significant tornado risk. So basically, according to the Storm Prediction Center, we could see maybe the small potential of a spin up that could maybe bring a tornado that's EF2 plus or even higher. Now, this is for areas pretty much near 231 further out into the west, into areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and not including areas of Georgia. So there is a tornado risk, but also the potential of stronger tornadoes in areas of Dothan and areas of western portions of the Wiregrass. Now, that doesn't mean let your guard down if you're in areas of Henry County and Early County. You still could see some brief spin-ups along the line. Now, we also do have a damaging wind threat across areas of southeast Alabama, and that encompasses all of the Wiregrass, where we could see 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds as well. After that, high temperatures will cool down back into the 60s and then rise back up into the 80s before we see another cool down for your Monday going into your Tuesday. So one thing I'm going to do, we're going to switch over to links 2. I'm going to show you the current state of our satellite and radar. Now, this is the line. It's in areas currently of Mississippi at this moment. Now, this will eventually move into areas of Alabama over the next 4 to 5 hours, but there's a tornado watch for areas of southern Alabama and maybe in the western portion of the state. Now, this will most likely be extended further out to the east as we get closer towards midnight or even a little bit later. So that's what I'm expecting, at least as of now. Now, take a look at what's going on a little bit closer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in areas of southern Mississippi and also Louisiana. You see these tornado warnings. There's a tornado warning just to the north of Hammond, Louisiana, and also some areas of rotation along this line. Also, we have some severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's the main threat. This line of storms will continue to propagate its way to the east and bring the potential of severe weather across the region, and that's why we're under that level 2 risk of severe weather. Now, this is a great time to ask any questions because, like I said, we're going to be live, and we will be having live coverage, especially for your nighttime hours, and as those storms continue to make their way out to the east. So if you have any questions, please send it in right now and I can answer those for you. A lot of people are worried about the timing. I do think that the main timing at this moment will be mainly between your 3 a.m. time frame entering areas of Covington County. Then after that, exiting the Wiregrass around 7 a.m. So that's what we're looking at right now. These storms are continuing to move on the slower side, again, eventually making its way into Alabama, southwestern Alabama, and this tornado watch is in effect until 2 a.m. Central, but don't be surprised if you do see an alert sometime overnight, as we could see that tornado watch extended into areas of southeast Alabama. And again, straight line wind threat is going to be the primary threat, but after that, there still is that tornado threat. We see tornado warnings in areas of Mississippi at this moment, passing through areas of Jackson. And the main thing that I'm looking at is you see this line of storms further over here. Seems like the strongest of the weather, and at least the strongest of the storms, are pretty much further down to your south. And that's why that significant tornado risk is also further down to your south in areas of southeast Alabama. So if you have any questions, this is a great time to ask. I see for risk for Enterprise and Chancellor. I also see asking about trailers. So multiple questions that I'm going to answer. Let's talk about the mobile home situation. If you live in a mobile home and you have the chance to stay with somebody overnight that has a regular house or something with a very, very solid foundation, I highly recommend that you stay in somewhere that's not a mobile home tonight, just in case. Another reason is because these thunderstorms could have 60 to 70 mile per hour winds and even some straight line wind damage. We saw that earlier this year, can still cause some significant damage to areas of people who stay in trailers or any type of mobile or manufactured home. Let's go back to links 1, and I'm actually going to show you guys the timing of the storms again. So I'm going to go back and show you the hour-by-hour forecast. And I know people were asking about areas of Enterprise, New Brockton, also areas of Geneva County. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on a county-by-county basis. So let's start all the way. And again, this is an estimation, so it's not a guarantee. You should give or take about an hour or so. So let's start all the way here in Louisiana. Models are already showing those storms, and those storms are moving a little bit faster than expected. We're already seeing storms in areas closer to New Orleans. So like I said, give or take an hour. As we go throughout your nighttime, we could see those storms beginning to make its way into southern Alabama, then entering the Wiregrass around 3 a.m. Now, this could very well be 2 a.m. because, like I said, based off my observations as of right now, these storms are moving a little bit faster than expected. So entering Covington County, but you could see maybe some prefrontal convection in areas of Coffee County around 3 a.m. Again, give or take an hour. As we get closer to Geneva County, this will be closer to 4 a.m. or 4 a.m. or closer to 5. Now, areas of Houston County around that 4 to 6 time frame, and then exiting our region around 7. So for my friends in Covington County, I think between 2 and 3 a.m. is probably the time frame where storms will begin to enter your region, probably exiting within an hour or so. Same thing for Coffee County. If you're in Coffee County or in western portions of Geneva County, storms can enter your region between 3 and 4 a.m. Then Houston County, sometime between, I'm thinking 4 a.m. and maybe 6 a.m., depending on how fast or slow this line moves. So this is 5 a.m. with this model one, but some models are slightly faster. Some models are a little bit slower. It depends on how fast this line goes and also what thunderstorms come across this front. So because we do have the potential of maybe seeing some storms develop from the Gulf and make its way through. And that's where you see these little pockets and these little thunderstorms right ahead of the front. That's what we really need to watch out for the potential of tornadic activity. Now, I had another question about where is the significant tornado threat. So after the hour-by-hour forecast, you see, this is where we have the potential to see maybe some stronger tornadoes if a tornado does develop. So if you're in areas of 231, basically Dothan, I'm actually going to zoom in just a little bit. I'm going to step off screen and zoom in just a tad bit and show you guys more of a specific area. But again, everybody within that level 2 risk, which includes the entire Wiregrass, needs to be weather aware. But the highest threat of seeing a tornado is areas of Covington County, areas of Coffee County, all of Covington County, all of Coffee County, all of Geneva County, and also most of Houston County. So our friends in Dothan, pretty much if you're anywhere near Ashford, further out to your west and into areas of southern Henry County near Newville, this is where you have the highest chance of seeing the potential of maybe a strong tornado. But I want to caution you guys, if we switch back over to links 2, I'm going to show you something that shows our tornado threat in a different light. So this is the significant tornado threat, which means a tornado threat that could maybe bring EF2 or greater strength. But here's our regular tornado threat. This includes all of the Wiregrass. So anywhere that is outlined, whether you're in the green or whether you're in the brown, has a chance of seeing a tornado. Now, if you're anywhere pretty much in that brown, you have the higher risk for seeing a tornado. And also within that higher risk, there's a potential of seeing maybe a strong tornado, which means EF2 plus. So that's what our threat is looking like. So if you're further out to the west, in western areas of the Wiregrass, I do think you have a higher chance of seeing a tornado, and that tornado could be maybe on the stronger side. Now, if you're further out to your east in areas of Early County, you still could see a brief spin up, but the tornado threat will be lower regardless. And again, I want to stress this out. No matter if you're under a level 1 risk or you're a level 2 risk, no matter if you're under, a 2% risk or a 5% risk, regardless, every single county in the Wiregrass is under the threat of severe weather, and it's that level 2 risk, and the potential of tornadoes still will be there even if you're further out to your east. So there's a possibility that we might not see any tornado warnings or severe thunderstorm warnings here, and then we could see a quick spin up in areas that's outside that significant tornado risk. That could still be a brief spin up. So it's very important, regardless of where you live in the Wiregrass, you're still under that severe weather threat. So very important to stay weather aware, mainly between that 2 a.m. time frame and also around that 6 to 7 a.m. time frame. And then if you're, for our friends in Blakely, I think our early county watchers and our early county viewers, it can enter our area maybe between 5 a.m., maybe 6 a.m. Eastern, and then exiting our region around 7. So download the WDHN Plus app. Also watch us on download our WDHN Plus app and also our WDHN Storm Team app. That's where you can watch us and also keep updated on any watches, warnings, or any further alerts ongoing across areas of the tri-state region. So don't let your guard down, even though it's a level 2 risk, because there is that risk of seeing potentially some stronger tornadoes, and that tornado watch can be extended further out to the east. So I'm seeing areas of the Florida Panhandle. So Mariana, Florida, if we switch back over, we're still on links 2. I'm going to actually go back down. I'm going to show you our tornado risk. So even if you're in areas of Mariana, you're still under that level 2 risk of severe weather. And also you're just on the edge. If we switch back over to links 1, you're just on the edge of that area where we could see maybe a stronger tornado EF2 plus. So if you're in Mariana, still go. If you live in a mobile home, anywhere in the Wiregrass, if you live in a mobile home, stay by somebody who has more of a solid foundation. But in Mariana, you still could see maybe a stronger tornado. You're right on that line, but I don't want you guys to be focused on that line in particular, because all of the Wiregrass still is under that threat of severe weather. And also, the damaging wind threat could bring 70-mile-per-hour winds. We're already seeing some reports of that in areas of Mississippi and Louisiana. So I'm going to switch back over to links 2 for a second. I'm actually going to show you some of the other risks that we're currently seeing. So we do have that wind risk, we have that tornado risk, and we also have a few other risks ongoing. So this is our wind risk. That is up to 30%, which means there's a 30% chance that we can see winds up to around 60 miles per hour and within a 25 to 35 mile radius. So anywhere that's in this red, you have a wind threat as well, and that includes areas of Mariana. So regardless, we could see some strong winds across the area. That's why you see these severe thunderstorm warnings that confirm tornado warning in Louisiana, and further up to your north, some more tornado warnings as these storms continue to propagate to the east, and they vary in speed, sometimes between 40 miles per hour, sometimes between 50 to 60 miles per hour. And how long will the worst last? Depending on your area, I do think that these storms will continue to move, but they'll be out of your area, I'm assuming, probably within the next 30 minutes to an hour if that storm hits your particular location. If that storm hits your location, the risk will probably last for 30 to 45 minutes. After that, you're past the frontal boundary. We're still going to see some rain associated with it, but the severe weather threat will be over. And let's see if we get any more questions. Areas of Headland and Defuniak Springs. So I'm going to scroll back, and so for areas near Defuniak Springs, first, your threat is a little bit higher, mainly due to the fact that you're closer to that significant tornado risk. But the main thing that, like I said, you have a higher tornado risk if you're in the Florida Panhandle as well. Pretty much anywhere west of Mariana, you're right on that line. If you're in areas of Dothan and Ashford, you're still under that level 2 risk, or at that 5% risk, with that higher risk of seeing an EF2 tornado. Further out to your east, your threat is lower, but it's not necessarily zero. You still could see a brief spin up, or you still could see a tornado. I got another question about areas near Headland. Headland's a little bit further up to our north. You're still under that 5% risk of seeing a tornado, and also the potential of maybe an EF2 plus tornado. So you're still under that threat if you're in areas of Headland, but it does cut off in areas of Abbeville, but that does not guarantee that you won't see a tornado. You're still under a threat of a tornado regardless. The highest threat would just be in southern areas of Henry County. I'm seeing the storms dying down. The storms are currently not dying down. Actually, the storms have been intensifying over the last couple of hours. I'm actually going to show you what we have been seeing over the last hours. I'm going to take this back to about 6 hours ago. So 6 hours ago, we were seeing storms make its way into areas of Louisiana and it slowly has begun to strengthen, mainly due to the fact it's feeding off of the very warm atmosphere and also the Gulf. Also, there's a lot of shear ongoing across areas of the southeast as what we call a low-level jet, which is basically winds just above our heads that will begin to blow, and this is why you're seeing more warnings begin to pop up across the region. So earlier today, we really didn't see a lot. We saw mainly a few storms that were severe, and you see not a lot of warnings associated. We did see a few tornado warnings, but as we gain some more daytime heating, and even though we're in the nighttime hours, there's still a lot of energy in the atmosphere. Those warnings are beginning to pop up more and more. So currently, we're not seeing a downtrend. You can actually argue we're seeing an uptrend in some of that severe convection at the moment, and that's expected to continue because the atmospheric ingredients are actually lined up pretty well. I'm going to go back and show you kind of what we're looking at temperature-wise, and this is the reason why these ingredients are coming into place. Our high-res temps show that even though it's dark outside here in Dothan, we're seeing temperatures still in the 70s, and we're sitting around 70-ish degrees across much of the southeast, sitting at 73 degrees in Dothan, 75 degrees in areas of Mississippi, Mobile, sitting at 74, Troy 73, and even these areas that are seeing these severe thunderstorm warnings. There's enough warm air for these storms to really latch on to. And another thing is the dew points. That's very important. So you have high dew points. You also have very warm temperatures for this time of year. It's been hot. If you guys have been paying attention, if you stepped outside, some areas were near 90 degrees. So it has been very, very warm across the region. So when you combine that warm air and also very moist air, it brings a lot of ingredients for these thunderstorms. And also we have a decent amount of wind shear, which means that the air above us is moving, and it's moving at different directions at heights, which means when the thunderstorms begin to grow, it begins to rotate, and that's why we see multiple tornado warnings ongoing across areas of the southeast. Let's actually count this out. Currently, we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tornado warnings ongoing between areas of southern Mississippi and areas of Louisiana. But also we have some severe thunderstorm warnings bringing 70-mile-per-hour winds anyways. So regardless, the tornado threat will continue across areas of the Wiregrass, but it will also continue across areas of the southeast. So no threat currently to areas of southeast Alabama, but as we go throughout your nighttime, these storms will either maintain itself or it will strengthen even further, and this is why we're still under that level 2 risk of severe weather. So you're fine for right now. I think this is a good time to take a nap right after WDHN News at 10 and make sure that you have your emergency alerts on, and also make sure that you have multiple ways to get watches and warnings, mainly due to the standpoint that we could see severe weather. Getting a question of what weather apps to look up. Download WDHN, our WDHN Storm Team app, and if you have a smart TV, if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, if you have a Fire TV, make sure you download WDHN Plus. That's how you get our weather, that's how you get our news. And also, Facebook is a great app too, because just like you guys are watching me right now, we're going to be live regardless, especially if we're seeing severe thunderstorm warnings enter areas starting in Covington County all the way through areas of Early County. So this will be for your overnight hours and tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be here, and meteorologist Brian Boggiano is going to be here as well to keep you guys updated. So the WDHN Storm Team app, Facebook is great. If you're watching me right now, stay on Facebook, and we're going to be live. If we see severe weather, you're going to get that notification as well. And also, just make sure your emergency alerts are turned on, especially during the overnight hours. And make sure your ringer is on. I'm seeing so no chance of weakening before reaching Covington County. There's always a chance with weather, but the main thing that I'm looking at is based on the atmospheric conditions I'm seeing. We have the ingredients, we have warm air. We didn't have a lot of rain today. Usually, sometimes, typically around this time of year, if we do see some rain, that will damper our severe weather risk because it will take all the instability out the atmosphere. But we saw a sunny day. We're seeing a very clear night across the Wiregrass. And also, there's the temperatures are well above average and dew points are on the high side. So based off what I'm currently seeing, I really don't see a chance of some of these storms weakening at this moment. I'm not saying it's a 0% chance that these storms will weaken, but the chances of these storms weakening is fairly low, at least at this moment. But I will tell you one scenario that could play out. and this could be somewhat good. That could lower our tornado threat. If these storms end up congealing a little bit together, and they're starting to do that as of right now. They still have these kinks within the line, but if they continue to congeal together and move to the east, this will turn mainly to a damaging wind threat, which isn't necessarily the best thing. Again, 70-mile-per-hour winds can still pack some damage, but it's better than a tornado threat, or at least a tornado threat where we can see the potential of strong tornadoes, which is EF2 or greater. And I'm seeing something about chancellors. If you can let me know exactly what county that is. I can't remember the county. So I'm seeing chancellor is in Geneva County. Geneva County, if you want to know the timing of that would be mainly between, I'm thinking 3 a.m. to around 5 a.m. Again, give or take an hour. These storms can move a little bit fast. But I think 3 to 5 a.m. in Geneva County. I'm leaning more towards that 3 to 4 a.m. time frame though, entering areas of Geneva County, especially if you're in western Geneva County, probably between 3:30 and 4 o'clock. Again, give or take an hour. Now, as you go into eastern areas of Geneva County, more in that 4 to 5 a.m. time frame, and then Houston County, that 4 to 6 a.m. time frame. Again, give or take an hour. I really want to emphasize that, because these storms sometimes move fast and then they slow down and they can speed up a little bit. But it looks like these storms as of now are moving a little bit faster than expected, but sometimes they do tend to slow down from time to time. I'm seeing Wicksburg. So if you're in Wicksburg, you do have the chance of seeing severe weather, and that will be mainly during the 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. time frame. I think between 4 to 5 a.m., that's when Wake Up Wiregrass starts. Around Wake Up Wiregrass, if you're up around that time, you should be up around that time, especially if we're getting any warnings, we could see that around areas of Wicksburg and western portions of Houston County. So as we scroll in, we could see that, especially as you go further over here. I'm thinking around that 4 to 5 a.m. time frame, and then making its way into areas of Dothan closer to 5. Like I said, give or take an hour. I really want to emphasize that. So that's what we're looking at now. I also saw another city. Let me get it off the top of my head. I'm going to go back to the comment section. I also saw Dothan. I saw Cottonwood. I also saw Ashford. Midland City, same thing with Midland City. Ozark a little bit earlier. If you're in Ozark, we can switch back to links 1 for me if you can. For areas of Ozark, a little bit earlier. I'm thinking 3 to 4 a.m. Maybe a little bit later, maybe closer to 4:30. It really depends. But I would say I'm going to draw this area out. If you guys can switch back over to links 2 for me, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you our tornado threat. So this is our tornado threat for tonight. So this is our tornado threat right here. Now, I know it says 5%, but that means 5% within any area. So don't let that bring your guard down. So the tornado threat is mainly within this area. This area has the highest tornado threat at this moment. I think this particular area, anywhere in this area, is between the 3 to 5 a.m. time frame. So see if I can draw a good 3 to 5 a.m. give or take an hour. I think Covington County is more on the 2 a.m. After that, after you go east of Ashford, I think your time frame is more from I would say 4 at the earliest to 6 a.m. at the latest, entering your area. And then exiting the area completely, most likely around 7 a.m. at the latest. So that's what I'm thinking for the time frame. Let's switch back to the other graphic. Now, this is where we have the potential to see the strongest tornadoes within this area. So regardless, your tornado threat is still there. And the reason I said don't focus on whether it's 2% or 5%, when we had those tornadoes in areas of Geneva County, that EF2 that tore through downtown Geneva, we had a level 2 risk with a 5% chance. That 5% chance produced the EF2 tornado that went straight through a downtown area. That's why I said don't worry whether it's a 2% or a 5% chance. We've seen tornadoes. Sometimes we've seen tornadoes where there's a 10% chance and we see absolutely nothing. Sometimes we see a 2% chance of seeing tornadoes and we see 2 to 3 or even 4 tornadoes within any given area. So this area has the highest potential of seeing a stronger tornado that's either a EF2 plus. But the entire Wiregrass is under the threat of maybe some type of tornado, but also a damaging wind threat. And I'm going to show you that damaging wind threat right now. Let's switch back over to our other monitor. Let me show you our damaging wind threat. So even though we have that tornado threat, I also want to focus on this because this is technically a higher threat, around 30% within any given point. From areas of Louisiana all the way into southeast Alabama, including areas of Early County and all of our Wiregrass counties, we have a higher chance of seeing maybe some severe winds, which means wind gusts over 60 miles per hour and potentially 70 miles per hour, mainly due to the fact that we've been seeing some wind reports of 70 miles per hour in areas of Louisiana and Mississippi, which is under the same exact threat as us. So that means if those winds really don't die down, it's not out the realm of possibility. We still see some of those strong thunderstorms in areas of the Wiregrass, especially as we go throughout your nighttime and early morning and even your overnight hours. Seeing some questions about Geneva, same time frame. Again, 4 to 5 a.m., give or take an hour. Like I said, I would personally, around 2 a.m., I would check the radar or check if we're on Facebook Live. If we're not live by 2 a.m., check in about 30 minutes, 2:30, 3 o'clock. And if you see us live, that means you need to be watching those storms very, very closely. If you're in Covington County, I would wake up just maybe a tad bit early, maybe around 2 a.m. If you're up around 2 a.m., I will wake up because the storms could be entering Covington County at that time. And if you see me live, I'm going to tell you, hey, the storms haven't entered your area. You guys can go to sleep. We're going to check in 30 minutes. But we're probably going to be live all throughout the night. And also, if there is any severe weather ongoing during Wake Up Wiregrass, we're going to be live for that, of course, and also do potentially wall-to-wall coverage if the threat is large enough. Now, another thing I want to show you, and I want to do this while we have the chance. If you do live in a mobile home, like I said, it's highly recommended that you stay somewhere else if possible. Mainly due to the fact I want everybody to stay safe and stay weather aware because I want people to be safe just in case we see a tornado warning. I would rather have you guys be in your safe space and also be somewhere that is solid and has a solid foundation and you see no tornado. I'd rather have you be mad at me than lose your life. That's my main goal. I want everybody to stay as safe as possible, especially under the threat of severe weather. But let's go over your safe space. This is a typical home with a solid foundation. A lot of people in Alabama don't have any basements. So for our friends, if you have a basement, hey, go to your basement or go to your storm shelter. But you go to the most interior rooms such as a hallway, closet, or bathroom. And if you can do that, stay away from any windows. If you can, in a timely manner, put something over your head, whether that's the mattress pad or whether you have a helmet or anything. Do that. But also another thing that people don't necessarily mention is also wearing closed-toed shoes. A lot of people can survive the tornado, but also injure themselves by stepping on some glass or stepping on debris. And make sure that you cover your head as well, just in case. So this is the tornado safety. If you know your safe spot, make sure you practice that tonight. Make sure you know where to go just in case you are under a tornado warning. And like I said, I hope we don't see anything. I hope we don't see a lot of warnings. I hope we don't see any damage, but unfortunately the reality is there. So that's why I'm here answering you guys' questions and answering any questions that you all have. Not seeing, so I see some more questions about Ozark. So Ozark, your time frame would be a little bit earlier. So I'm gonna do this one more time. I didn't do this in about 10 to 15 minutes, but let's go over our HRRR model. Let's switch back over to our other monitor. And this is currently what we're seeing right now. Now this is actually a little bit slower than projected. We're actually seeing storms in areas of Slidell at this moment. So like I said, that's why I say give or take an hour, because this is what the radar looks like more like right now, but this model says 11 a.m. So give or take an hour. Let me emphasize that one more time. Give or take an hour with this time frame. So storms are beginning to roll through, making its way into areas of Covington County around 2 a.m. Again, this could be a little bit earlier, could be a little bit later. Around 3 a.m., one thing I'm watching for is take a look at this. You see these little cells? That any of those could potentially spin. That's one thing that I'm watching out for. This is areas of Coffee County, areas of Western Geneva County, and also the main line of storms, because if we don't see any thunderstorms, this line would just be entering Andalusia or Covington County around 3 a.m. As we get closer to 4, this is when we see that line enter all of Covington County and then areas of northern Coffee County and maybe even areas of Dale County. Now around 5 a.m., we see these storms make its way through again, now clearing most of the area and entering areas of Dothan around 5 a.m. and even Early County around 5. Then around 7 a.m., it's all done. So that's the main thing that I'm looking for at this moment. How strong are these storms going to be and how fast the storm is moving? Now, since this storm is moving a little bit faster, that means we have a higher chance of seeing these storms being a little bit stronger than expected. So we can't predict exactly where, things are going to happen, but this is where at least the main line of storms are going to move through. I do see some questions about Panama City Beach. If you're in Panama City Beach, that threat will be in your area mainly around the same time around Dothan. So a little bit between, I'm thinking, that 4 to 6 a.m. time frame, and your threat still remains the same. You're still under that level 2 risk of severe weather. You still have that threat of seeing potentially damaging winds and also some hail. Because take a look. This is the significant tornado risk we see EF2+. This is Dothan, Panama City's all the way down there. So this area has the highest chance, but the tornado threat encompasses all of the Wiregrass down into the Florida Panhandle. So if you're in areas near Lynn Haven, Panama City, Mexico Beach, still stay weather aware around that 4 to 6 a.m. time frame, give or take an hour. And also another thing you have to worry about over there is the potential of maybe some water spouts offshore making its way into areas on the beach. I'm seeing, is a trailer a mobile home? Yes, a trailer is a mobile home. A mobile home is basically anything that has that does not have a solid foundation. And so now if you live in a mobile home and you have nowhere to go, ask if there are any shelters around the area, if there are any places, if you have any friends, any family that can potentially, share their home with you, be open to invite you into their house. That would be a great idea just in case. How long will it last? These storms will enter and exit the region probably within a span of a 3-hour time frame. But for any particular location, if you're under a warning, you're probably going to be under a warning for about 30 minutes. The worst of the weather will only last probably 30 minutes. After that, just some regular stratiform rain and then drying out for your afternoon going into your evening. So that's how long everything will last. We're getting some really good questions, and please continue to ask questions so we can keep you guys safe. So examples of mobile homes is trailers, SUVs, RVs, any manufactured homes. I know if you have driven on the Ross Clark Circle, you've probably seen those oversized loads where you can basically drop a house somewhere. That's technically considered a mobile home. If you can plant that home somewhere and you can put it on a trailer, that is a mobile home. Even if it looks like a regular home, that's what you call manufactured housing. So yes, some sheds are considered mobile because they don't have a solid foundation. Anything that has not been laid on a foundation, screwed into the ground, built by construction workers and engineers, that is considered a mobile home. Anything that can be lifted up easily or put on a trailer or put on some type of hitch and can be moved, or even an RV, something like that. That's what we consider a mobile home. And also, the last thing is, if you don't have anywhere to go and you live in a mobile home, if you don't have any friends, you don't have any family, see if you can also, sometimes some areas have 411 or 211 if you need any information and explain your situation. Or also you can call the National Weather Service if you're in areas of our office, pretty much anywhere from Coffee, Dale, Geneva, Houston, Henry, and also Early County. Our National Weather Service office is in Tallahassee. So just look up National Weather Service Office, Tallahassee. Maybe they can give you some advice. And if you're in Covington County, the National Weather Service office in Mobile, you can call them and also ask. And the last thing I will say, as far as if you have nowhere to go and you live in a mobile home, 411 or 211, usually that's the non-emergency line for your city. They can also provide some information for you as well. So it's very, very important that you guys get this stuff done. If you have any questions, any further questions, because we do have to get ready for WDHN News at 10, I want you guys to stay tuned and stay informed for that, because we are going to continue to keep you guys updated on that and what's going on across the Wiregrass, and actually even some more new information that will be coming in the current storms that we're seeing. But ask these questions right now, because I am about to go on air. So any further questions within the next 5 minutes, I'm very, very happy to answer. And like I said, we're going to be live sometime tonight, especially as storms begin to get going later on. Yes, we will be live. The WDHN team will be live. Me and meteorologist Brian Boggiano are going to be live as needed, especially as these storms begin to enter our area. If we're seeing a lot of storms from the Mobile area, and as it gets closer to Brewton and areas of Covington County, we will go on Facebook Live to keep everybody updated. If we can switch back to links too, I'm actually going to show the radar again and show you guys everything that's going on. But yes, we will be live as needed as storms enter in the region, and if those storms become severe, and if they reach severe criteria to the point where we need to cut in on live TV, we definitely will. And also on WDHN Plus. Remember, we have a brand new app called WDHN Plus. It's on Amazon Fire TV, it's on an Amazon Fire Stick, it's on Samsung TV and Apple TV, and Roku TV, almost every smart TV. Not on Samsung TV, excuse me, but Roku TV. And so any of those places, you can download the WDHN Plus app so you guys can get the latest weather information. And also we will be live on that as well as needed. So here's a final look at what's going on. There are some tornado warnings just to the north of Slidell, Louisiana, and these storms are still ongoing. And 70-mile-per-hour winds, 60 to 70-mile-per-hour winds in areas of Hattiesburg, near Laurel, and also near Bogalusa in Louisiana, and now entering near Picayune. 2 areas of rotation in St. Tammany Parish, and this will continue to enter into areas of Mississippi, and also a tornado warning near Mandeville and Slidell, Louisiana. Now, also follow me on Facebook, Chief Meteorologist Jordan Ambrose, and also on X, at Jordan Ambrose WX. I'm seeing more. What is the tornado parameter map looking like? I can show you the tornado parameter map right now, right before we get off. So here is, and it's just popped up on our screen. If you're on Facebook, Jordan Ambrose WX, or Facebook Chief Meteorologist Jordan Ambrose. This is where you can see my updates, and I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated all night. So here is what we're looking at from the tornado standpoint. Our tornado threat is highest in areas where we're seeing these tornado warnings, all the way through areas of Houston County, pretty much anywhere west of Ashford. And this includes most of the Wiregrass. There's also a threat of tornadoes in eastern portions of the Wiregrass, but that threat is just a tad bit lower. Now, as far as our significant tornadoes, which means where we can see EF2 plus tornadoes, that will be mainly to our west, in western portions of the Wiregrass within this area that's in that 5% risk. So if we switch back over to links 1, I can actually show you that right now. This is where we could see the stronger tornadoes, which means EF2 plus, or winds greater than 111 miles per hour, or close to category 3 strength or even stronger. So again, EF2 tornadoes or stronger tornadoes could be possible anywhere within this area. Now, does that mean that's exactly what we're going to see? Not necessarily. We still could see some brief spin-ups here and there, but we also could see, if all the ingredients line up, maybe a strong tornado, or at least up to EF2 strength here in the Wiregrass. Again, not a guarantee, but just the possibility. And this is all if atmospheric ingredients line up. But in general, we think that brief spin-ups will be possible, or some spin-up tornadoes could be possible, but also damaging winds. I'm going to switch one more time to show you the damaging wind threat that we have across areas of the Wiregrass, and that's still on the higher side. If we can switch back over to our monitor, and I can show you our wind threat, which is still on the even higher than the tornado threat, which means 70-mile-per-hour winds. And if you take a look, we're seeing more severe thunderstorm warnings than we are tornado warnings. That doesn't mean that we're not seeing any tornadoes, but the main threat will be damaging winds, but the potential of tornadoes are on the high side. Is Ozark within the biggest threat area? Yes, ma'am. Ozark is in that area, that has the higher chance of seeing the stronger tornadoes. Again, not a guarantee, but just in that area, that's where they have the potential. Again, potential. How high are winds supposed to be? Winds are supposed to be between 60, maybe even 70 miles per hour. Does this mean portions in the red are the ones to be alerted to? Yes, anywhere, every county in the Wiregrass, every county in the Florida Panhandle needs to be on alert tonight. But the highest risk will be in western portions of the Wiregrass, and also, but for winds, this will include almost all of the Wiregrass to see 60 to maybe 70 mile per hour winds. Is there a chance this weakens as it moves in? There is a chance. There is a chance that it could weaken as it moves in, but the chances are higher for it to weaken as you enter areas of Early County and eastern portions of Houston County. And this is why the tornado threat peaks, and this is actually a really good question. This is why the tornado threat peaks within this area. They believe, the National Weather Service believes, this line of storms will at least maintain or keep or be a little bit stronger within this area. And I'm going to see if I can overlap this with our tornado threat. So the Storm Prediction Center believes that within this area that's in this brown and highlighted, that it will stay, at least maintain itself across this area. As you enter the green, there's a chance, the chance of it weakening does go up just a little bit, mainly due to the fact that the forcing or the ingredients are a little bit less there. They're still there, but they're not as favorable as you go further out to the eastern areas of Eufaula, Albany, and Tallahassee. So is there a chance? Yes. Is the chance high for most of the Wiregrass? No. If you're anywhere pretty much near Ashford further out to your west, you're pretty much seeing the same threat that we're seeing in Louisiana, in Mississippi. Not saying we're going to see confirmed tornadoes, but also saying that the ingredients are favorable for seeing severe thunderstorm warnings and perhaps a tornado warning if those ingredients do overlap perfectly. As you go further out to the east near Early County, that threat is still there for at least tornadic activity, but it's just a little bit less. But that doesn't mean you won't see it, because even under a 2% tornado threat, they actually have the perfect example in Michigan. There was just recently an EF3 tornado, and it was under a level 1 risk of severe weather. So just because that you're under that level 1 risk or under that 2% risk, which that area in Michigan was, does not necessarily mean you won't see a tornado, or you couldn't see maybe a strong tornado. So the threat is lower, but not zero, but the chance to see the highest threat will be pretty much Houston County, further out to the west, including southern areas of Henry County, and making its way down into the Florida Panhandle. So we have about 15 minutes left before we go on WDHN News at 10. So I want everybody to be safe and stay weather aware. Is it okay, or would it be safer to stay the night in Enterprise? It depends where you live. If you live in Ozark and if you're in Enterprise, the threat will be pretty much the same. The threat will be pretty much the same. We can't guarantee exactly where, of course, if there's any tornadic activity, where exactly that would drop, but your threat remains the same whether you're in Ozark or whether you're in Enterprise. So we're about to hop off of live. I want everybody to stay safe, stay weather aware, and I thank you guys for watching, and watch WDHN News at 10 as we're going to have more information. I'm going to go over everything once again in a shorter time frame, but we are going to be back throughout your overnight hours as well as storms begin to enter in the region. So again, tune in possibly around 2 to 3 a.m. as storms make its way into the region. And also, we're going to be Facebook Live if storms come in a little bit earlier as well. I want you guys to stay safe, stay weather aware, and see you at WDHN News at 10.